Hi, I'm Roy Collin, and welcome to the show. I've got six podcasts, as you'll see behind me. A speaking podcast where I'm talking to speakers, coaches, authors, and even marketers. I've got the meditation podcast where I'm talking about meditation, breath work, yoga, chakras. I've got a load of meditations from 1 minute to 2 hours. I've got the Learn Polish podcast, and the episodes are about 5 to 10 minutes, and we deal with everyday topics like going to the dentist and things like that. The Awakening podcast is where I'm exposing fraud and corruption, but with solutions. And I've had guests like Mickey Willis, Dr. Peter McCullough, David Icke, and Thomas Rentz. The Crypto podcast is where I'm exposing fraud and corruption in the crypto blockchain technology. So, about cryptos and NFTs, but also on the good things and how to invest safely. And finally, the Podfather, which you see there on my t-shirt, thepodfather.me, is where I'm helping podcasters either to start a podcast or existing podcasters how to grow their audience. And most of the episodes are short, but they're good tips that will help you improve your show. I also have a store on all of my podcasts, so you can go in. There's some of my products and also some of the affiliates that I do, and that helps me with the show. You'll find everything on bio.link/podcaster. And I'm also helping people start a podcast as well as doing a podcast tour. So you'll find everything on the link there. I'd like to thank my sponsor, danielpacker.com. He's helping people with fear, doubt, and anxiety. He's got a 90% success rate, and you only pay if he helps you. So be sure to check him out, danielpackard.com. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to comment on the social media and let us know what you think. You don't always have to agree, but as long as it's not abusive, the comment will stay up. Welcome to the Meditation Podcast. You can find all our episodes on meditationpodcast.org. My guest today, he's passionate about exploring mindful living, meditation, consciousness, and the nature of reality. As an author, entrepreneur, and practical philosopher, he delves into both Eastern and Western philosophies. He recently co-founded a mindfulness app called Affirmative, which I've actually used and it's very good, which integrates your favorite personal items into a unique practice, transforming them into powerful reminders to help maintain a mindful state throughout the day. His journey of self-exploration accelerated in his mid-30s when he began questioning deeper meaning of existence. This quest led him to explore Eastern traditions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Zen, and Taoism, as well as Western philosophy, science, and the arts. Through extensive reading and various mindful practice, he discovered a deeper connection with the universe that transformed his perception of life. Please welcome Rudy Daniel.
Hey Roy, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, I mean, like you've done a lot of research and everything that I presume kind of all came into putting this app together using your life's experience. But I suppose let's kind of find Rudy's own kind of journey first before we delve into everything.
Sure, sure. So my journey accelerated in my mid-30s with all the, in regards to the kind intro that you did with all my exploration. I accelerated in my mid-30s as I was reaching to some sort of a crisis in my life. I was very tired from the mundane reality I was experiencing, and I felt that I don't have much things to accomplish anymore beyond banal things like accumulating more possessions or chasing the next big thing. And with this journey, I delve into a lot of philosophies, a lot of teachings, a lot of discussions about the nature of reality. And I found that there is a profound way to live and to live mindfully. And since then, I became an author. I wrote a book. It's called Behind the Mask, Beyond the Mind, in where I discuss all these questions of who I am, what is the nature of reality, what are we doing here, how one should think of oneself, and many questions alike. So yeah, it's in very short. That's kind of my journey.
Okay. So, I mean, you've studied all, like Buddhism, Zen, and all this. So, is it just research, or were you actually traveling to these places to kind of delve deeper and meet the masters of the different religions?
I was studying all these traditions not to become one of the practitioners, but rather to understand where it's coming from. I don't rely particularly on any tradition or any religion, or I don't have any singular belief in these kind of things. I think that we should always rely on our self-evident experience and not rely on belief. So my studying of these traditions were done, from books and from philosophers and from lectures, just to get the essence of their idea, because the nature of reality is way too complex to pin it down to a book, or pin it down to some concept or idea. It's way beyond that, and it's way more profound. So I didn't take it that seriously. I didn't go and became a monk in some monastery, but rather I read between the lines and tried to understand where these ideas come from. So yeah, that was it.
And because I'm like, if I just say, look at Christianity and the Bible, and that's kind of the Bible that we were told, and then they find older Bibles, and then you hear of stories of there's like 37 exact same things of the virgin birth and all this, and it's very hard to decipher what is true, because with the propaganda people think it's just new, but it seems to be have going on throughout history. How do you decipher what's actually, is it a case of I mean, for me personally, whether it's history or whatever I'm reading, I just kind of read so many that you put the pieces together yourself rather than, is that similar with yourself?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is no truth. There is no truth, literally, as people are seeking for it. There is no book that will pin the truth down. It's way too complex. Even if you read the Bible is built of metaphors, and it's not, people take it literally. Uh, I mean, things like, Jesus said that if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, you need to become again as a child. So some people take it literally and think that they ought to be children. And some people read it and understand that to be a child again is to be naive enough and open enough in your mind or heart to receive these kind of teachings and this kind of understanding that the basic fundamental reality is veiled by our perceptions generated by our sensory organs, and we experience this life from a very particular point of view, and this is not it. This is not how reality looks like. It's just like how reality looks like from our perception. So when I read any philosophy, any theology, any mythology, my basic standpoint is that these are all interesting metaphors for someone to transcend these metaphors into a self-evident understanding. And this is what I recommend to everyone. Do not believe in anything. Just go and explore yourself. Try it for yourself if it resonates or if it doesn't resonate. Because if you are stuck on belief, the other side of belief is doubt. They're plotting to be different things, but in essence, they're the same, belief and doubt. So I explore it for myself, and if I find it true in my own self-evident experience, then I validate it. There is no other way for me.
So with all of the stuff that you've researched, is that kind of compressed then into what you've put in the book?
I mean, the book is comprised of my my childhood. I wanted to build it as some sort of dialogue between me and the reader, and it starts with my childhood, where I had all these questions that I have now as an adult, but I had them as a child as well, in a more childish way, of course. And from there, as I developed throughout my adolescence and became an adult, I wanted to emphasize the journey because it's a journey that we all have. In the end of the day, it's very similar. And when I reach a point to my adulthood in the book, I begin a dialogue with the reader in which I present questions and they answer, obviously not to me, to themselves, but it's kind of a philosophical discourse, but with, with a twist. It's a bit more light and fun. But yeah, I do use a lot of things that I've learned along the way, and questions that popped up in my head. And it's very like conversational, you might say, along with some deep concepts. But I mean, you can read it pretty easily, I believe.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on, because a lot of the times the child is very curious as they're kind of exploring the world and they kind of ask, my youngest child is 10 and I love the questions he gets, but sometimes a parent can kind of knock them, or if they don't get what they're asking, instead of just kind of letting them explore or delve, but they just kind of don't ask stupid questions and things like that. And sometimes they stop the curiousness and the mindfulness that the child is actually experiencing with their replies.
Yeah, I mean, I have kids myself, and I'm trying to not block this mindful childhood they have, and let them explore and let them, it's very difficult because of the age gap between us to explain fundamental ideas about reality to kids. But what you can do is just let them be, let them explore, and share the wonders of the world with them. I see how they react to small things like trees, flowers, and the mysteries of everyday life. And instead of blocking it as an adult because you had enough of that, and for you it's mundane world and regular world that you're used to, and your 30 or 40 or 50 years of being here. So what I'm trying to do is share the wonders of the world with them, and hopefully that, it persists throughout their life.
Beautiful. So the app Affirmative is the name of it. So I suppose, how did the whole lot come about? And then we can kind of delve into what it does.
Yeah, just a little correction. It's Affirmate. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
similar
sorry.
to Affirmative, but yeah, it's the same kind of words. It's from the word affirmation, and we are. I mean, the app itself is based on the notion of positive self-affirmation, which I believe is the foundation of good mental health, good mental shape. When a person states negative affirmations like I'm a loser or I'm not good enough, it affects his mind greatly. And you can see these examples all over the place with people consciously or unconsciously reciting negative affirmation. So my research showed that positive self-affirmation does the same, but in a positive way. So it's like well established today in psychology, and any psychologist would recommend reciting positive self-affirmation. So what we did is we took it a step further. By the way, I have a co-founder with me, and his name is Roy as well. So funny enough.
I saw that.
Yeah. So what we are doing is we developed a practice that takes only 90 seconds, which is very fast, and you can cultivate it as a daily ritual. In those 90 seconds, you have a multisensory mindfulness experience composed of visuals and auditory, beautiful elements, and you are immersed in the practice. You choose your intention, whether it's wealth and success, health, gratitude, and you just immerse in 90 seconds. But when you immerse, here is the thing, here is the trigger. The interesting thing about the app is we involve a personal item. So let's say you have a ring, or you have a necklace, or you have a crystal that you love. It's something that is personal to you. We found a way to encode the words of the positive affirmations into those items. So you involve the item into the practice, you put it on the phone, and after you're done, you take the item with you. So let's say it's a ring, and during the day, you take a look or you just touch your ring and you're reminded of your intention. So you're always grounded with what you did. So although it's 90 seconds, it carries you along the way, along the day. So throughout the day, and we launched a month ago, and since then we had amazing feedbacks, and a lot of people are downloading the app and using it. We're on a constant race to improve it and make it more magical, beautiful, and nothing like you ever seen. It's the next generation of mindfulness apps that we are building, and I encourage people just go to the App Store or Android store and type Affirmate mindfulness tool, or just go to our website. It's affirmate.app, and we have a lot of information there that you can read and understand what we are doing. And we're also very open to feedback. So that would be amazing if your listeners can, write an email to us saying what they loved, what they didn't, and we are very, very open to this conversation at this point. And by the way, thank you for giving me the stage to talk about it.
Yeah, and like when I was, because I actually did my father, he passed last year, so I did his ring today on it. But there's beautiful kind of moving graphics, like really colorful and high quality, really high quality. Plus, is it your own voice that's actually doing the speaking during the app?
Are you talking about the male voice?
Yeah.
It's actually Royce, as the co-founder.
Okay, because it's got a good voice. So I didn't listen to the Luna one, but but
Yeah,
no, it's got the sound is very good as well and makes you attractive. So I suppose for those that wouldn't kind of know, because I mean, with frequencies, like even gold, everything is vibrating. So you might kind of explain to people how the frequency kind of works with whatever kind of belonging that you want to put on the phone to put into it. And I think what you're saying as well, just by touching it, you're remembering the affirmation, which in turn has a better chance of it actually happening because you're putting it out there and you're thinking it. Where sometimes people wish for something and that's the end of it. They get on with their day and then they just go to doom and gloom and think negativity. Whereas this is, you're thinking of the positive all the time, which has kind of makes it work better.
exactly. You just nailed it. So this is the premise of what we do. About vibrations and frequency, let's just lay out the terminology because it's confusing to a lot of people. A vibration is a system of waves. You have crest and troughs. You have the upside of the wave and the downside of the wave. And this is basically the way that the universe is built. Every pattern is moving as wave. It could be light, it could be sound, it could be anything. If you look through magnifying glass, you will see that all patterns moves in waves. So this is pretty standard for any scientist to approve. A lot of people are talking about it these days, that everything basically is vibration, and so are we. We're constantly moving. We're not a still kind of figurine or even a painting. We're a moving body, so we vibrate all the time. A frequency is the measurement between the upper side of the wave of the vibration. So these are the foundation of this terminology. So everything is vibrating. It's a system of waves, and the frequency is the way to measure it. So what we are doing is we understand that frequencies and vibration, and I usually use them synonymously. So they have a profound impact on us. And how you can know that? Again, I'm going back to self-evident experience and not beliefs. When you listen to music, for example, you're absorbed in vibration. And if you listen to a music you like, it has a profound impact on you. If you go to nature and you're just sitting and you have this soothing sun, on your skin, so you feel this sort of vibration and you resonate with it. There's a vibration that does absolutely the opposite. Like, for example, if you're on the road and somebody uses the horn, it's also a vibration, but it has a negative impact on you. So it's very easy to understand that some sort of vibrations are resonating well with the human body and some doesn't. So we did a whole research, and actually all the music that you hear, we recorded in a special sound healing room with an expert, and we had all the instruments arranged in a certain way. And you can read about it in our blog, by the way. So from all the ancient traditions and from modern understanding of how music works, we try to combine all these elements into something that will profoundly impact you during these 90 seconds. And it had to be very compelling and very immersive. So that's what we did. We used a lot of ancient instruments. We used some modern instruments. And the result is what you heard during these 90 seconds.
Excellent. And with like the frequencies then of music, because I had heard you in another podcast that you were into metal yourself, and it was something that one of the books that I read, that it was a Japanese guy. He was freeze the molecules, and I know that people can talk to the plants, and when you say something negative, it's dying, and when you're saying positive, it's flourishing. But apparently, like a lot of the music as well, like it can have an impact. But I believe it knows that the rocker fellas actually infiltrated that, and instead of being 434, they have 440. Is that something that
I'm not that deep into tuning frequencies to influence the subconscious mind, but I can tell you about the experiment that IKEA had. Actually, we wrote a blog about it a few days back. IKEA did an experiment with it was called Bully plant, I believe, and they had two identical plants, each one with a Bluetooth speaker inside, and they asked random people, I believe it was school kids, to go and visit these plants. And on one plant, it was said that you should compliment the plant, and the other one, and that you should bully him, like you should recite positive affirmations and negative affirmations. And the experiment showed that in a span of a week or so, the plant that received compliments was flourishing, and the other one was dying. So it was very, very evident. And there's a lot of experiments like that in the world. Even I know that even some farmers that are, growing grapes, for example, for wine or purposes like that, they play classical music to their grapes, like Mozart and Bach, and Beethoven. So it's a well-known and established method that we use as people. So this is where we are coming from when we are dealing with frequencies and vibrations, and not necessarily tapping into some subconscious mind stuff that people talk about. I have no knowledge about that, to be honest.
Okay. And like the 90 seconds, is it something that you've played with different times, or is it something through your studies you realize the benefit of like a minute and a half?
We did a lot of studies to understand what is the capacity of how you say how much time people will spend on watching something without their mind interfering. So there's a lot of data for this, because people use social media, and you have TikTok and you have YouTube, and you can see how much time people spend on specific videos. And with time, you see that it diminishes from hours of seeing videos to 15 seconds. So during the research, we understood that 90 seconds would be a perfect time for someone to create a daily ritual that they can stick to. Otherwise, if it's too long, it doesn't work. If it's too short, it doesn't work. And hopefully we hit the sweet spot. 30 seconds is cleansing, is just preparing yourself for the practice. And there's 60 seconds for the practice as well. And if you have a good eye for details, you can see that in the Affirmate app, there's a lot of things going on with numbers. So 3, 6, 9, and we are very consistent throughout the app with this sort of, magical little things for people who love details.
So it's very interesting you've just said that, because that was my next question. Because I think it was on TikTok, I saw somebody talking about this, and they were talking about in the positive, in the now as such. And I just done one on wealth for this week, and I done to make $10,000 in the week. And the week isn't up yet, but it's over 5,000. It could be, because there's a few things that have happened. That's not typical for me. It's been a while since I've done that, because I'd lost everything a few years ago. But it's like, okay, I'm interested in this, and I'm thinking about health and everything. It's like I don't brush it away. And it's very interesting that you've just said that now. So you might could you kind of go a bit deeper on that and explain, is it from Tesla, or where's I know that there's a lot of talk about everything is kind of 369 with plants and everything, but you might kind of explain what it's all about.
I mean, as I told you with the frequencies, I'm not that deep into the mechanics of mystical numbers. Obviously, there's also a book called The Golden Ratio. Did you read it?
No, but I will.
I recommend it. It's basically that the universe is structured of different the same kind of number sequences, and there's a lot to pattern. I would say if you look at reality, and if you're really careful, you can spot that there is a lot of patterns going on, and these patterns are repetitive, and you can see it in a lot of examples. You might see pattern in plants that repeat themselves in rock, repeat themselves in human beings, and so obviously there is some sort of pattern to numbers that one can follow. The reason that we did it is more aesthetic and ritualistic rather than influential in terms of what these numbers can do. But I think that, it really doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to have some sort of rigid belief in any system, but rather create the right set and settings for yourself to live your, the good life, or the best reality you can think of is just making the set and settings. So if numbers work for you, amazing. If frequencies work for you, amazing. Believe in God works for you, amazing. Whatever works for you. And what we're trying to do with Affirmate is to create the perfect set and settings that will resonate with people. So yeah, that's kind of my take on numbers and frequencies.
Very good.
I hope it doesn't disappoint you.
No,
I'm not.
absolutely not. And I appreciate your honesty in the different things that you do. Because some people they'll kind of go off on a tangent. They'll say something to to answer, but when you don't know the deep meaning, it's all good. It's all good. And I saw, I don't remember them offhand now, but the different things, like one is gratitude. And I know for myself, because I had mentioned years ago that I had lost it, and gratitude helped me so much, because instead of thinking of the negative, oh look what I've lost, oh look who hurt me, all this, it was like you've changed your mindset, because you can't have two, you can't be thinking positive and negative at the same time. And I think gratitude is so powerful. So there's gratitude. You might kind of go through the different ones that you've got on the thing, and I know it might evolve as well from as you're building it.
Yeah, yes. So my favorite affirmation is, I approach each day with an attitude of gratitude. So this is the affirmation that I do each morning, because in the end of the day, you only have what you have in this moment, in this eternal now that you are experiencing. You have what you have. So the best thing would be to be grateful. I mean, the other option is not very good. You can be, unsatisfied, and this is the sort of negative affirmation that I was discussing earlier. So if you approach your day with an attitude of gratitude, I think that you might have a better taste of life with this kind of attitude. And as you mentioned, we have different categories. We have the free ones, by the way, that everybody can use is gratitude and happiness and joy, wealth and success, creativity, confidence and power, health, love and friendship. So different areas of growth for different situations in life. Personally, for me, I usually practice the same affirmation at least for a week, and then I change, because I want to experience different things. But you can use the same affirmation as long as you want. I mean, there is not enough gratitude that you can do. You can do it from this day to the end of days, and be grateful, and only that will enhance the experience of your life so much. It will have a profound effect on your day-to-day life.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, with a load of apps, I mean, there's plenty of times I'll see an app and I'll go, oh, that seems interesting. You don't really get a taste of it. And then they kind of try to fleece you to press the button to buy it. And then you just uninstall it. And then you look at comments on the ratings and all that. But you mentioned there's free parts on it. And I mean, I know the pricing could change, like, but currently it's like something like $29 or something like that for the year, which is very reasonable. But the fact that, I mean, I went in and I was able to play with it and go, this is actually very good. This is, not only the sound, but but everything that you've just explained in the conversation. It's very good value for a very reasonable price. And is that something that you're conscious of? One, not everybody can afford it, because like everything I do with the podcast and everything, it's like sometimes people are doing stuff and you kind of cater for everybody then when you give them something. And yeah, is that kind of the premise behind why you price it so reasonably?
Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it very much. It's always beautiful to hear when you're creating something and people find it valuable. That means I did something good, and I'm very happy with that. So thank you. And yeah, the pricing is very reasonable. We thought about the pricing that anyone can handle. Currently it's 29 a year. It's pretty cheap, and we are in constant development. And part of our kind of, I wouldn't call it strategy, but our plan is to keep it accessible, as much as we can. So in the end of the day, we want to create a better experience for the world. And if it's only 29 or 39 or something in this area, I think that anyone or almost anyone can afford it. And if you can't, just write us an email and we figure out a way for, that it will work for you. But yeah, for sure, we are very mindful of that.
And because I know it's Android and Apple, but does it actually work on the desktop as well? Because sometimes people want to stay away from technology, or do you have to have it on the phone? I know when you're actually doing the vibration, you're placing the phone, like, for example, I put the ring on it today, but I'm just curious with the desktop, does it work on that as well?
Well, actually, it works on desktop. I have it installed here on my Apple MacBook. But yeah, I heard this claim before that usually from spiritual people or people who are spiritually righteous, that says that technology is evil, and how do you even combine something that as something as profound and so-called spiritual with something so materialistic as a phone. So to those people, I say that everything in life is basically spiritual and profound, including the phone. And if we have an option to use technology to reach to so many people, that's what we're doing. If I was living 1,000 years ago with my mindset, maybe I was a monk. I were a monk, and I would live in a monastery and I would meet people and talk about my philosophy. But here in the 21st century, I have the option to spread the word and spread positive intention to millions of people with this amazing thing we call technology, which is basically magic. Look at us now. We are speaking and thousands of miles away, You are saying something and I'm hearing it in real time, and we are able to share our message, and you are able to share your message to the world through technology. So technology is not something evil, and I would encourage people to understand that this is just a part of our evolution on this planet, and we can use this platform to do so much good, and we can also abuse this platform. So it's a matter of choice, and our choice is to use technology as something good, as something that will help people, and this is, our way of understanding.
Love it. Love it. Listen, Rudy, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. You might let people know where they can find you.
Sure, I would be happy to share some links with you, so you can just add it to the bio. You can go to affirmate.app to find us there, and you can drop us a message, or you can find my book on Amazon. Just type in my name, Rudy Daniel, or the name of the book, Behind the Mask, Beyond the Mind, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And thank you so much, Roy. I enjoyed this conversation, and it's a lovely Friday. Wishing you only the best.
Thank you very much. I'll make sure I put the links, including the links for the Amazon, so people can get that if they're interested, on both the show notes, on the audio and the video. So that's all for the meditation podcast. You'll find all our episodes on meditationpodcast.org. Be sure to comment. As long as they're not abusive, they stay up. Love to know your thoughts on everything that we discussed today. Until next week, take care. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. As mentioned at the start, you'll find my 6 podcasts on bio.link/podcaster. And also, if you'd like to start a podcast or do a podcasting tour, you'll find the information on that or on the QR code that's there. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating, and share with your friends, because it really helps. And also, I'd like to thank DanielPackard.com, helping people with fear, doubt, and anxiety. He's got a 90% success rate, and he's only charging if he helps you. So be sure to check him out, and you get a free call to discuss everything. Until next week, take care.